Dear students, in this video we are going to discuss about the first mass movement of Gandhi, non-cooperation movement. So when you come to the causes of non-cooperation movement, the first thing is the resentment at the British after the war. Okay, so actually Indians had lot of expectations. They said that after the completion of war, Indians will be given more representation for Indians in the administration. And even the time of war also Indians faced lot of hardship because of inflation, high price rise, and Indians were forcefully deported to foreign lands to participate in the war, etc. And the second is the atmosphere charged because of home rule movement. We have discussed in the earlier classes. Home rule movement, that is started by two personalities. First by Balangar Tilak and Annie Besant. And next is Rowlatt Act. So actually Rowlatt Act was passed to suppress the nationalism and especially revolutionary terrorism. Indians thought that after the end of the First World War, the British will give more concession to Indians. But what happened, instead of giving that, it is like giving a hungry old man a stone. So this was an inhuman act. Rowlatt Act was an inhuman act. And we have discussed in the earlier classes the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So two leaders, Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichlu, were arrested in the name by using the Rowlatt Act, and people were protesting at Jallianwala Bagh. And you know that massacre, the police general Dyer will open fire on the unarmed innocent people, so resulting in many casualties. So this was not welcomed by the Indians. Even many people, including the Secretary of State for India, Montego, will condemn this incident. And even in the earlier video, we have discussed about the Khilafah movement. So Khilafah movement is started by Indian Muslims with the demand of restoring powers to the Caliph, with the demand of restoring earlier kingdoms to the Caliph, with the aim of making the Islam as a supreme. Actually, after the end of the First World War, the Ottoman Empire was divided, by which the Caliph power declined. So this Caliph is considered as the supreme of Islam religion. So when their head's power is curtailed, automatically the religion will become weak. So they were demanding to restore the powers of the Caliph. And next is the government, the British government will give Montego Chelmsford reforms. Actually, many people were not satisfied with that, including Gandhi. So these are the causes for the non-cooperation movement. And even in course of Khilafat movement, Gandhi will become the president of All India Khilafat Conference. The main aim of Gandhi accepting that post is to unite Hindus and Muslims against the British. These are the causes of the non-cooperation movement. So actually non-cooperation movement was formally launched on August 1st, 1920. So actually on this day only Tilak died, and his last message to the nation was, unless Swaraj is achieved, India shall not prosper, and it is must for the survival of the country. So of course many people paid homage to Tilak on that day. And actually some people oppose the initiation of non-cooperation movement because through the Montego Chelmsford reforms, British gave Indians an opportunity to contest in the elections and get elected and enter into the councils. So many people like Lajpat Rai, Chittaranjan Das, Bipin Chandra Pal, Madan Mohan Malaviya said that we shall enter into the council and get solved or get addressed our demands in the constitutional manner. So they opposed they wanted to use the Montego Chelmsford reforms. They wanted to contest the elections, and they wanted to solve their demands by constitutional manner. So they thought that it is foolish to boycott the new councils. So, and finally in September 1920 at Calcutta session, Gandhi's resolution on non-cooperation movement was passed because he was having upper hand and he was able to convince the other leaders, and finally a resolution with programs and activities of non-cooperation movement was passed. And it consisted, so what are the activities or features of non-cooperation movement? So first and foremost, it should be the violent protest against the British. So Gandhi always followed the path of non-violence, and Indians were asked to relinquish their titles and resign from nominated seats in the local bodies as a mark of protest. So if earlier, if British has given any titles for Indians, they have to surrender the titles and they should not accept the fresh titles, and they have to resign from the representative bodies, either councils or other local bodies, as a mark of protest. Of course, many people will resign for their membership of councils also. And people were asked to resign from their government jobs. And people were asked to withdraw their children from government controlled or aided schools and colleges. So actually, children left the government controlled schools, and what happened at this stage? Indigenous schools were established, and even Subhash Chandra Bose became the principal of one of the indigenous schools. So our national schools and colleges were established, and our children started studying in their schools. Indians opposed the British institutions, and people were asked to boycott foreign goods and use only Indian-made goods. So, if we boycott foreign goods, the revenues for Britain will decline. So, it will have a lot of economic impact on the Britain. So, it may bow to the demands of the Indians, and and, be, and because of this boycott of foreign goods, there arose a huge demand for the Indian goods. All the indigenous cotton industries flourished well, and people were asked to boycott the election to the legislative council. So actually, under the conditions and under the or on the terms of Montego Chelmsford reforms, elections were to be held, and Congress party boycotted these elections. They have not contested election, and even they asked people not to participate in voting. So it happened. It was successful. So because of this reason only, in South India, especially in the Madras province, Justice Party contested, and it came to the power. And people were asked not to serve in the British. Okay, it's British Army. So in that period, two-thirds of the British Army consisted of Indians, and Gandhi gave an ultimatum that so they should not serve in the British Army. It also planned that if the steps did not bring results, people would refuse to pay their taxes. Actually, Gandhi said that if we follow all these programs, we will achieve the Swaraj in 1 year. So if British fails to accept our demands, then we will start not paying taxes. So Indians should refuse to pay their taxes. And INC also demanded Swarajya or self-government. Actually, earlier we have discussed in the moderate phase. Indians wanted to get solved their demand through constitutional manner. So, but this non-cooperation movement is not a movement following the constitutional method. So they have put an end to their earlier path of struggle, that is constitutional manner. Now they started a new mode of struggle. Of course, it is also a legitimate method because it is a non-violent struggle. They don't want to use any violence, and even lawyers were asked to put an end to their profession, so they will not practice. Like even eminent lawyers like Asaf Ali and T. Prakasham, so left their practice and they stopped the practicing as lawyers. It gave boost to morals of many other people, and even Indians boycotted the British law courts. So instead of British law courts, indigenous arbitrary courts were established. Okay, this is Congress, and they fixed 4 anna as a membership fees, and even they wanted to supply the charkas, lakhs of charkas to the Indian households to encourage Khadi, and even that Vijayawada session also passed a resolution to collect a Tilak Memorial Fund, and even in this Vijayawada session only the flag of Congress party, which was designed by Pingali Venkaya, was accepted, and of course in course of time with slight modifications it became the national flag of India. So you have to even remember the Vijayawada session also. So suddenly this movement was suspended by Gandhi. The reason is a peaceful Khilafah activities, a peaceful Khilafah and protesters were lathi charged at Chauri Chaura. So that people got angry, and they will attack the police station, they will lock the door, and they will set fire to police station, killing 22 police person. So Gandhi thought that Indians were not yet fit to follow the path of non-violent manner, and this incident took on 5th February 1922. So, so Gandhi will convene a session and he will suspend the non-cooperation movement. So the reason for suspension of non-cooperation is Chauri Chaura movement. Okay, so which occurred on the 5th February, and later on 12th February a resolution was passed suspending the non-cooperation movement. So at this juncture, many people criticized the Gandhi, saying that a small incident at a remote area, for a small incident at remote area, why the whole India should pay. So they said that Gandhi failed as a leader. Of course, many people like C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru criticized the Gandhi, but you know Gandhi will never accept the violence. So when you come to the significance of non-cooperation movement, this movement for the first time got support of all section of people. Even Muslims also participated because even they too had their own demand, that is Khilafah. And when you come to the second point, this movement witnessed the spread of nationalism to remotest corners of the country. So it was a pan-India movement. And thirdly, it transformed the Indian National Congress from a small organization to an organization at national level. Okay, and it marked the Hindu-Muslim unity. Of course, because of Khilafat, Muslims also actively participated in the non-cooperation movement. Though the movement failed to achieve any one of its three main demands, namely, first was annulment of Rowlatt Act. Nothing has happened. They have not repealed the Rowlatt Act. And the second thing is restoring powers of Caliph. So nothing has happened because Caliph post was removed. Okay, by the Turkey people itself. They will start a movement, and this post was removed, and a constitutional government will come into existence. And we have never achieved the Amrit Swaraz. Though it could not achieve their demands, it was a great moment because it laid foundation for the future national movement. So actually, what happened in course of non-cooperation movement throughout the India, there were many associated struggles, and many farmers stopped paying the taxes, etc. And the great thing is, it even spread to the remotest areas of the country. There are many associated struggles, like the farmers of Midnapur in Bengal, led by Birendra Sheshmal, organized a very effective no tax movement. So they refused to pay the taxes to the government. Okay. So actually, the people of India wanted to see that British will have a loss in the economy. That is, the revenues of British should decrease, and even they also picketed in front of the shops which were selling the foreign goods. So the Tana Bhagat sect of Chotanagpur tribals boycotted liquor because by selling the liquor, the British used to get the revenue. So they wanted to see that the revenues of British will decline. So if they perceive the economic impact, automatically they will bow to the demand of the Indian masses. And the United Province became one of the strongest centers of non-cooperation movement because in this region, the important leaders were Motilal Nehru and Jawaharlal Nehru, and the farmers revolted in Awadh under the leadership of Baba Ramachandra. Okay, so they were demanding their rights like tenancy reforms, okay, and reduction of taxes, etc. And many laborers in tea gardens of Assam also participated in the movement with their own demands. And when you come to Andhra region, there were many associated struggles like Chirala Perala, which was a great movement. When these two villages, Chirala and Perala, were converted into a municipality and a huge tax was levied, the people opposed this, and this movement was led by Dugirala Gopal Krishna. It was an excellent movement. Even this movement was discussed in the British Parliament. Of course, in course of time, it lost the leadership when Dugirala Gopal Krishna was arrested, and it ended. Even in Andhra, we had other movements like Pedanandipadu Satyagraha, which was started by Parvatneni Viraya Chaudhary, which was also a no tax campaign. So even you have to study these social struggles also, and in the main they may ask only write about social struggles of non-cooperation movement, and many facts which are not in the slide are presented in the form of material. We can go through. We will meet for the next.